What's going on, everyone? Cubeologist here, and today I've got a fairly exciting video, in my opinion at least. Today we're talking about the Thunderclap version 2. So this is a really anticipated puzzle because of the success of the version 1. Now you guys know I kind of have a complicated history with the version 1, but just to clear everything up, I don't hate the puzzle. I just wanted to get on people's nerves, so that's why I blew it up. But anyway, if you want to see that, I'll link that video down in the description. You can see some cube violence if that's your thing. But in the spirit of the version 1, this puzzle is actually only $9.50 on pre-order right now at thecubicle.us. So regardless of how good it is, if it's just as good as the version 1 and maybe doesn't corner twist quite as much, I think it'll be a success. But I wanted to let you guys know that I've actually solved this puzzle about 100 or 150 times, and other people in the office have solved it. But I just wanted to show you the packaging because I thought it was decently cool. We've got mats there on the box, and this is what I really liked. Rather than the pointless saran wrap or plastic wrap that goes on some puzzles, Mofengi actually gives you a box, which I like. It's something you can actually use. But now let's take a look at the puzzle, and you can see some obvious differences right off the bat. Now some people may hate this, some people will probably love it. I'm more on the love it side, but the corners are squared off. The corners are squared off, the edges have that distinct square shape on three sides and then rounded near the center, and the center caps are a little bit more rounded off than on the original Thunderclap, which you can see right here. So just to compare it, this feels more like Florian mods because everything's square except right in these parts. But this is more of an intentional design, and I actually like it. If you tension your puzzles right, guys, squared off corners do not cause lockups. Let me repeat that. If you can tension a puzzle, squared off corners do not cause lockups. But this was still a complicated puzzle. It wasn't just fantastic out of the box. It actually took a lot of work. But I'm going to get into that in just a second. First off, right now, let's compare some pieces like an edge and a corner and maybe even a center cap to the original Thunderclap and see if this puzzle has more in common with this than just the name, because some companies just use the names for marketing. I'm thinking Moyu, Along GT, along those lines. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's beside the point. Let's take a look at the pieces. All right, so here you can see I've got the version 1 on the right, the version 2 on the left. And just at a quick glance, it definitely looks like they've just improved the design, which is refreshing. It's not just a totally new design that they've slapped the Thunderclap name on. It actually looks like they've started with the Thunderclap and reworked the design, which is pretty cool. So now let's take a look at the corners. You can see that they are actually pretty similar, especially up here in the stalk area. Now this is 3-piece on the base, and this is 1-piece, which is better because if this starts coming apart or starts getting stretched, it can cause the cube to feel overly bumpy. But this is 1-piece, which is pretty cool, so I'm going to have to see how all that fits together later. But other than the squared off corners, it's fairly similar. That's pretty cool. And you can see here the center caps are also the same as on the version 1. They actually fit way down over the center and become part of the mechanism, which is pretty cool, I think personally. Now it's kind of a pain to get them out. You have to put a screwdriver kind of down in there and pry it up and get it out, but it's still a pretty cool design, even if it is a little bit of a hassle. So now let's talk about feel. Out of the box, this puzzle was extremely disappointing because this was a big name. I was really excited for the new Thunderclap. It was going to be something that everybody loved, and out of the box, I was so disappointed. It was really catchy. Every turn was super clicky and bumpy, and I just couldn't get my solves to flow like they do on my GTS. Now, I know my solves don't actually flow, but you know what I'm talking about. I couldn't get the same feel or the same comfort level solving this puzzle that I do on my GTS or like a Meiying or a Yuexiao or anything like that, or even the older Thunderclap. I just couldn't get it to feel that way. But I stuck with it, and I've solved this puzzle about 100 times, and trust me, it gets better. This puzzle got so much better. It still doesn't fit my turning style that well, but it got infinitely better. Then I lubed the core, retensioned it, lubed the pieces, and it's definitely usable now. You can see that corner cutting is well over 45. well over 45. And if you go too far, it just goes the other way. And on that note, you can see reverse is at least line to line. Corner cutting isn't a huge deal nowadays because if you don't have good corner cutting, it's just irrelevant. The puzzle doesn't matter anyway. So at least this puzzle has that. But the feel, the crunchy feel, has stuck around. Let you listen to this puzzle turning. So yeah, you can kind of hear that crunchy, bumpy feel, but the puzzle, like I said, still performs pretty well, even if it feels a little bit blocky. I'm not gonna lie, I think it feels a little bit blocky, a little bit clunky, and it's not really the puzzle for me. But I'll probably do a full review on this when I get some more time with it and get a black one, because this is actually hurting my times. My recognition on white is really bad. But as for now, I'm gonna stick with the GTS as my main for nationals. But this puzzle is really interesting to me. My overall conclusions are that it definitely takes some breaking in. It's a little bit clunky, a little bit clicky and bumpy, but it performs well. And if you like the original Thunderclap, you might like this one. And I would definitely say check it out for the price. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. It helps out the channel a lot. And you'll hear from me maybe really soon. We'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.